Alrighty folks, some practice questions now with finding an equation in vertex form from the graph of a quadratic or from a parabola. Let's get down to business. Which is the equation for the graph shown? Okay, so we're getting an equation from vertex form, I guess. All of these are given in vertex form. So probably best for us to go over here and look at what the coordinates of this vertex are. I'm seeing that x is -4 and that y is -3. And then I can also see that my y-intercept is at 0 and 5. Those are the 2 points we need, as we saw. So we're going to say that y is going to be equal to a outside of x and then +4, because our horizontal translation is minus, and it's always backwards. Y, however, is not, so it's -3 for our value of k. Then we're going to fill 0 and 5 into that equation and figure out what a is. So 5 goes in for y. 0 goes in for x, and then we'll do some calculating here. We've got a times 4 squared minus 3, so that's 5 equals 16a minus 3. Okay, watch your order of operations. That's the trick to solving equations. So then we add 3 to both sides, and we have 8 equals 16a, which means that when we divide by 16, not by 8, we divide by 16, tells me that a is going to be equal to 1/2. Okay, so I've got an equation that's going to say y equals 1/2 of x plus 4 squared and then -3. I hope that's an option. Sure is. Okay. So it looks like this one they tried to get us with order of operations, ways that we figured out the value of a. So we're cleverer than they are, though. We got the right one because we know how to solve equations. Alrighty, let's jump on to the next example. Determine the equation for the graph shown. Let's see. Looks like our vertex here, well, they gave us a nice grid. This one's easy to see. Is at -2 and +5. That's a good one. Now, y-intercept, is that right on there? I'm not really sure. I don't think it is by the look, if I look really closely. So, what was our rule we said? That's a bit of a quirky one, but if we can't find the y-intercept clearly, we just have to pick another point that we can see clearly. I think this one looks pretty darn tootin' good. So I'm going to go right here, and instead of using my y-intercept, for my second point, my alternate point, I'm going to use -1. +2. And any point at all will work as long as you're not reusing the vertex again. You can't reuse the vertex because that'll just give you a bunch of zeros and stuff. So let's go for this then. We're going to have y equals a outside of x plus 2 squared and then +5. So we have to figure out a, and we're using the point x is -1 and y is 2. So we've got a 2 for y. X is -1 squared and then +5. 2 equals a times 1 squared, which is 1, +5. So 2 is going to equal a plus 5. Be so careful. A lot of folks will take this and they'll say, that's going to be 1 plus 5 is 6. No, no, no. Multiply first, then add. Order of operations. So then we're going to subtract 5 from both sides here. And if we subtract 5, we get a equals -3 by the look of things. Alrighty. So then I'm going to draw my equation out for you here. We're going to have y equals -3 was our value of a. Always write the answer to the question. Don't work it all out and then forget to write the equation. X plus 2 squared and then +5. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the equation of a quadratic in vertex form that corresponds directly to that graph. Okay? Alrighty, let's mosey on here. When finding an equation for a quadratic, these are all the things we read before. The x-intercepts are known. Use factored form. They weren't, of course, so we used vertex form here. And we had to pay careful attention to this last note, didn't we? Because we couldn't read that y-intercept clearly. We didn't have a lot of confidence in it. So we just chose another point that's easier to read. Just make sure that when you're doing that, don't reuse the vertex. Again, use the vertex for h and k, but don't use it when you're filling in x and y to try and figure out what a is, because you'll get a bunch of zeros and stuff doesn't work out so great for you. All right, hope that's helpful. See you in the next one.